Welcome back, everybody. It's the Adventure Archon here. You know how it is. We're going to get right into it with a fresh new adventure that I just whipped up, calling this one the Skeleton King's Tomb. So let's start off with a brief overview. So here we are, right at the entrance to the tomb. First, they're going to head in the doorway, head down a hall. It's going to split off left and right. Then it's going to enter into the main chamber on both sides, through a secret door, down some stairs, into another chamber. And finally, after solving a couple puzzles, they're going to find themselves in the main Skeleton King's chamber, and we'll see what happens from there. So let's head back down to the entrance here. We have our party, 4 members, and the first thing they're going to notice is that this front door is covered in some kind of haze. It could be blue, purple, you decide the color. And as soon as they touch the haze, it's going to come flying down the hallway and separate into 2, going off onto either side. It's actually going to be heading into each of these black urns that you see sitting there. All right, so the party has entered down the hallway, and the first thing they're going to notice is that this mist is going to return to the doorway. As soon as that happens, boom, we have a wraith showing up. The mist is now impenetrable. They will not be able to escape out that way. And coming from the other urn, right here, boom, we're going to have another wraith showing up. So they are now boxed in this hallway. Now remember, they cannot escape through this hallway because of the mist until they defeat these wraiths. Additionally, this doorway here and this doorway on the other side are also going to have walls of mist that are impenetrable until the wraiths are defeated. So we're starting combat here. The wraiths are moving in for the kill. And I would probably personally have these wraiths be unable to be damaged. That way it's going to kind of clue the players in that, hey, something's going on. And they'll probably notice these urns sitting here. Hopefully they will. Now we've moved on to the next round of combat. The barbarians moved down the hallway and has noticed the veil of mist that is preventing them from entering any further. And the ranger gets a bright idea. Hey, how about I try shooting this urn off the stand here? And boom, there it goes. Now here's going to be a perfect opportunity to describe the ethereal form of the wraith just twisting and convulsing until it finally explodes. This should also signal to the party that they need to destroy the other urn. So the barbarian's going to run over here, take his axe, swinging down and shattering it into a million pieces, immediately destroying the wraith and destroying the veil on either side. This is also going to be an opportunity for them to do a little looting, maybe throw some scrolls and potions or other things in here for them to find. Now we're going to move on to the next part here. This is the main chamber of the tomb. And as soon as they sneak around, they're going to see that there's a bunch of zombies here kind of swaying back and forth. There's some ethereal form here that appears to be performing a ritual and a corpse laying on an altar. So the party's moving in for combat. Immediately the zombies are taken off to the sides, engaging the party. But the ethereal form that they see there performing the ritual is just going to sit there and continue on with the ritual unfazed, seemingly completely unconcerned with whatever is happening around it. So a couple rounds of combat have gone by, a couple zombies are down. I would probably not make this a very difficult fight. It's more going to be a role-playing moment coming up here. All right, all the zombies are dead, and the ethereal form is still continuing on with the ritual, but he will engage them with conversation if the party wants to go talk to him. So let's see what the party has to say. So now the party is surrounding him and trying to talk to him about what is going on here. He will give very vague answers, regarding the things that he's doing, why he's there. He'll tell them that he's trapped there for some reason. He's unable to leave, and he's just doing what is expected of him. He won't really tell them any of the secrets of the tomb. But as soon as the party's done talking to him, he will fade into the background saying, "My work is complete, good luck." And as soon as that happens, this corpse which he was performing the ritual on will immediately come to life and spring up on top of the altar. Now it's up to you if you want to make this a tough creature. I thought I would probably make him a little bit tougher, at least than the zombies. Maybe twice as tough. Make it an interesting fight, give him a couple special abilities. And as you can see, immediately he jumps on top of the ranger. The fighter and the barbarian are moving in, trying to save the ranger from getting smothered and eaten alive. However, the party manages to defeat the monster, and now they're going to move on to the puzzle in this room. As you can see, there's 3 statues. I left this wall back here to kind of signify that there's something going on. This statue is facing off to the right. This statue is facing forward. And you could probably put a little riddle on the wall saying, "Left to left, right to right, soldiers guard your king tonight." This might be enough to help them figure out that they're going to have to turn both of the guard statues away from the king, which will then open up this door, cause it to rise up. letting them gain access to the lower levels of the tomb. And it's up to you also if you want to try to make the puzzle a little bit more difficult. If they try turning one statue at a time, then maybe the other statue will actually turn back facing forward. This is only if you think that the puzzle's too easy, or maybe your players are really clever so you don't have to worry about them not being able to figure it out. In this situation, I decided that they would both have to turn the statues at the same time or hold them in place so that they wouldn't turn back when they tried turning one or the other. But as soon as they do turn both statues away from the king and the door raises up, all of these undead are going to come right back to life and start attacking again. You could have them slowly coming back to life, give them a chance to run down the steps to this lever here, which would actually close the secret door that they just opened with the statues. Or you could have the zombies and undead come right back to life. Maybe they have a lot of hit points left over and you're trying to wear them down a little bit. But in this scenario, I had the zombies slowly starting coming back to life. The party ran down, threw the lever, closing the secret door, leaving the zombies no opportunity to follow the party down further into the tomb. So they've entered into the lower depths of the tomb. They're going to come to this new chamber here with 4 sarcophaguses, some kind of fountain or statue of some sort in the middle, a couple of corpses laying there. This corpse is laying right on the fountain. This is key to the puzzle of this room here. And there's a corpse laying over here that is just dead, laying by the door like he was trying to escape. So the party enters in. As soon as they come into this chamber, the first thing that's going to happen is that this corpse is going to slump off of the fountain. And when that happens, the head of the fountain statue is going to slowly raise up. This is going to trigger the door behind the party that they just entered through to slam shut. Now there's a couple ways you could play this. You could let them pull down on the head of the statue to reopen the door. What I would personally probably do is as soon as that door slams shut, these sarcophagus lids slide off and out pop 4 skeleton warriors. I would at that point not allow them to pull down on the head of the statue to try to escape. They could certainly try pulling down on the head of the statue, but it would have no effect. Now we've entered into combat. The skeleton warriors immediately launching themselves at the party. Couple go down, the fighter goes down, the ranger jumps up. I would probably make these skeleton warriors relatively tough, but also not so much that it's going to be a deadly encounter for the party, because as soon as they're defeated, they will all disintegrate into a pile of dust, and that dust will then go floating off into the sarcophaguses and the lids will come back on. And it's at this point that you're going to pull out the timer mechanic. Right there I rolled a 4, so that means the party has 4 rounds before these skeleton warriors reopen their sarcophaguses and start attacking again. I would highly suggest that you use the timer mechanic in all situations where it's warranted. Definitely has a lot of tension. So now we're going to move on to the fountain puzzle. So like I said, they could pull down on the head of the fountain at this point because the skeletons are defeated and that will reopen it. However, if they pull down on the wings of the fountain, it's going to open up the door over at the far end. And that is going to allow them to further head deeper into the dungeon and will eliminate the timer on the sarcophaguses. At this point, they will not be coming back to life. Now they've headed down into the hallway and they're moving on into this chamber with a couple more statues and some pillars. As you can see, I have this secret chamber hidden behind the wall there. I wouldn't actually have that there when the players, so let's get rid of that, boom. I would leave the wall here to signify there's something to explore. On the other end, there's a doorway with a bridge and a large platform. I thought this would be cool to have the platform just kind of floating in space. There's nothing around it except darkness or mist, with no real explanation as to what's holding it up. But this is the Skeleton King's chamber, and there he is at his throne. The party is crossing the bridge. As soon as they step on that bridge, he is immediately going to rise, or at least start talking to them, telling them to go back, leave, they don't belong here, discouraging them from continuing further. He doesn't want to have any conversations about why he's there, what he's doing. He is only there to discourage them from entering further into his tomb or doing anything else. However, his patience is not without limit. The party will only be able to go so far before it's going to enter into a combat stage. Right here in the middle, we have a flame with a gemstone in it. This gemstone fits into a socket over on this wall. That is going to be part of the puzzle to lifting that door. In addition, they will not be able to retrieve this gemstone until the Skeleton King is killed. So if they decide to go back, they will not in any way be able to acquire this. However, if they cross this threshold here, which is where the gemstone is located, the Skeleton King is immediately going to go on the attack. And popping out of the flames on either side of the Skeleton King are going to be two little phoenixes or fire elementals. Really, the guardians could be anything that you want, that you decide you want to have protecting the Skeleton King. This is going to be a really difficult combat. It's also possible that you could have the Skeleton King trying to throw or kick the players off of the platform, sending them into the abyss. However, once these fire elementals or phoenixes or whatever have you are defeated, they will return to the flames from where they came in order to regenerate themselves. This leaves just the Skeleton King remaining, and as the party's fighting him, you can definitely have him shouting lines such as, "I'll never let you raise the Lich Queen, you can't unleash her, she'll destroy the world." This kind of foreshadows what they're going to find in that hidden chamber over there. Also, the Skeleton King's sword is a big part of the puzzle, because if they place that into a slot in the wall in addition to the gem that will be released once the Skeleton King dies, then that wall will raise up and the two statues will not come to life, because it will be as if the Skeleton King himself was opening the door. So now the party has defeated the Skeleton King and he's laying there. His corpse will slowly begin disintegrating. He'll maybe have some words to say as he's dying. The flame in the center here will go out and extinguish, thus releasing the gemstone, because the flame was powered by the life force of the Skeleton King. With him dead, the flame's gone, the gem falls down, and now it's up to the party to decide what to do. So the party heads off, and they decide they're going to put the gemstone in the wall. The wizard's there trying to figure out the puzzle, decide what to do. Now, if they put the sword in first before the gemstone, it will raise up and the statues won't come to life. However, if they put the gemstone in, they won't have time to put the sword in also. The door is going to immediately raise up once the gemstone is inserted. This will cause the statues to come to life and immediately attack the players. As you can see, the party here was not smart enough to realize that they needed the gemstone and the Skeleton King's sword in order to prevent this trap from being released. These statue guardians are going to be extremely strong. I suggest you allude to the fact that they look like they cannot be defeated, depending on the level of the party or how strong they are at the time when this adventure takes place. However, they have come to life, this door is opened, and now we're going to see the Lich Queen. This is an extremely ornate sarcophagus covered in skulls and symbols of death, and as soon as that door opens, she will immediately come out of the sarcophagus. Now let's take, for example, if they had put the Skeleton King's sword in there. If that had been the case, if they put it in the wall and then they put the gemstone, those statues wouldn't come to life, and also when the door raises, she would not be released. However, the party did not do that, and so she is going to come out of the sarcophagus, laughing and cackling, thanking them for releasing her, turning into an ethereal form, and immediately flying out of there and escape the dungeon. This is going to leave the party with having to handle the stone guardians. It will definitely be in their interest to just try to escape. They can run through back into this chamber over here. And if you're a generous DM, you could say that the guardians are too tall and unable to fit through the doorway, thus leaving them with the puzzle that they started with over here, pulling down on the head of the statue, closing this door, blocking the guardians in, and opening the door for their escape. So now they'll have to head back out, pull the lever, lifting that door back up, and they're going to be expecting to be facing a whole horde of zombies over here. You can leave the zombies there, otherwise if the party's pretty beaten down, I would just say that since the life force of the Skeleton King was destroyed, that also destroyed the life force that was sustaining these zombies. Also, this ethereal form is now going to be here, and now because he has been released from his servitude, he will be able to engage with the players for a period of time, giving more information about the Lich Queen, the Skeleton King, how they used to be married as an actual king and queen. She decided to dabble in the dark arts, turned herself into a lich, and then he had to imprison himself there as an undead to prevent her from wreaking havoc on the world. But hey, if you like this adventure, please subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, and as always, have more adventures more often.